What is going on online classroom for diversity in professional settings? My name is Troy. The topic I chose was discrimination in unprotected workforces. So I wrote a This I Believe essay on that topic. And to summarize that essay, I always felt for those not fitting in at work. I always wanted everybody to fit in. I always felt for an older white man working in a predominantly black store. His name was Dave. What I learned after working there was Dave was taken advantage of for his work ethic, and had there been workplace protections, maybe this work ethic would have been rewarded or Dave would have been promoted. So we never know. But that summarizes my This I Believe essay and just how important those protections can be. So moving on to the required points of the project, I've identified the topic that represents my core beliefs. I want to relate this back to a course learning outcome, actually two of them, 2 and 3, which are evaluate current literature, news reports, and assertions for relevance, bias, stereotyping, manipulation, and completeness, as well as explain diversity issues stemming from differences in individual characteristics such as race, ethnicity, gender, and physical abilities. So, to draw this back to current media literature, we see the police chief of Cincinnati being asked to resign. And so nobody knows exactly why, whether she's a woman, this is why, or, physical characteristics, anything like that. So that's how we see that in today's world. Secondly, I want to talk about how this topic idea has impacted my life experiences. I possess a lot of empathy, so that's really how it's kind of affected me. It's hard for me to not think empathetically. So number 3, how does this relate to your authentic self? The Dollar Tree was the first place I found myself in professionally. So that is the authenticity of it. And I want to relate this back to course learning outcome number 1, which is explain how social and cultural systems develop out of adaptation to environmental and historical circumstances. So we see maternity leave as a cultural system developed out of adaptation to environmental and historical circumstances. Even though that's not really directly related, it's something we see in the workforce, and I thought it was worth mentioning to tie it back into the course learning outcome. After learning about others' experiences in unprotected workforces, such as the zoo, I was moved to take a stronger stance on the issue. So this is detailing how my position has changed regarding the topic. So the text mentions the example of the zoo, which is similar to retail workers, just an unprotected workforce. Okay. And I want to relate that back to course learning outcome number 4, which is identify issues with the advancement of women and other minorities in business, pay, equality, inequality, gender biases, and diversity. Women in leadership roles in the military, we continue to see this disparity. So this is an issue with the advancement of women and other minorities in business and pay equality. So moving on to number 5, what is your vision/goal for diversity in your life, workplace, and community? I would say my vision would be harmony, to see a workplace working together in harmony. Number 6, how do you further develop this diversity vision/goal in your life? Anytime I'm in group scenarios, I'm going to make others feel important/included, and sort of level the playing field. And finally want to relate this back to course learning outcome number 5, identify laws, government policies, labor policies, corporate culture, and the role of the family in the economy and how each of these relates to understanding diversity practices. We see a number of government policies, laws, points of law that helps understand diversity practices. We see the EEOC, which is the Equal Employment Commission. We see the OFCC, and then we also see GINA, which was an act enacted in 2008. The OFCC is the Office of Federal Contract Compliance. So that's similar to the the EEOC, in that they're both federal regulatory agencies. So these are points of laws that we see relating to diversity practices. Additionally, GINA is the Genetic Information Non-Disclosure Act of 2008. That was put in place by Obama. And finally, we see men earning more than women in the same position. And lastly, we see the role of the family in the economy contributing to privilege. So that is kind of how the role of family in the economy relates to diversity practices. So to wrap it up, what specific actions will you take to advance your DEIB goals going forward? This is number 7 of the required points. Any managerial roles I take on in the future, I will focus on inclusion. I think that is the most rewarding value of DEIB standards, and it is definitely worth fighting for. So thank you for watching, and have a good night, class.